Jackie told me that you forced her to do it.
I did no such thing.
Are you serious? You really gonna give me that fucking excuse?
Why are there people attacking me, Jeremy?
Does it look like I know?
Every fucking time you get called out, you get people to attack the person who called you out!
I guess I might as well start from the first thing that I can remember.
Greetings, my fellow subscribers and followers. It is I, SplatSource's Chris Hansen's Mr. Bubblegum, coming at you with another fresh video. Now, this video is going to be different from the other 3 videos I've made on this channel, so you might want to mind the lack of editing in this video, since I wanted to get this out there as soon as possible, since the current situation with InktoRosalina is a very serious one indeed. Now, personally, I wouldn't call this a drama in any way, strictly because what InktoRosalina pretty much did is genuinely criminal, and it goes beyond any petty drama at this point. Before we go over the things that he did, please do not go out of your way to attack, harass, or witch hunt him or anyone else mentioned by all means, since it'll feed him into his victim mentality and it's going to make you just as bad as Inkto is. But if you can share this video out like wildfire, then I would gladly appreciate it, since that's all we can ever do at this point. That being said, let's talk about the recent events that happened in regards of InktoRosalina, aka Jazmyne. To give you all a little summarization of who InktoRosalina is for those who lived under a rock or never heard of this person before, he is a SplatSource user who is mostly on Twitter and Discord. From my point of view, I've known this guy for quite some time since I joined the community back in February 2019. There's not really much to say to him about him other than the fact that his controversy back in May 28, 2020. For those who are unaware, there is a breakdown with Angie happening, and don't worry, I'll get to her in a bit. When the Scotsmen gave her a reality check, both her and Jazmyne abused their fans to attack and witch hunt him for giving them criticisms for their unstable actions. When Scott and a few others did some investigation, there are moments back in September 2019, Jazmyne sent his to a 14-year-old, while at the time, he's 20. Now, I can't really go into more in depth about this incident since I have seen a limited portion of what's on that said video. If you guys want to check it out yourselves, I'll put the link in the description along with the card. I have a theory that whenever people are defending pedos, it's a possibility that these defenders may become one too. I mean, I've seen this shit countless times before, and it's pretty common for SplatSource. And I had a gut feeling from what Jazmyne has done back then. I can't fully trust him due to this, and I'm actually glad that I didn't. Why? Well, you're about to find out, as I'll be exposing Jazmyne on what kind of a scumbag he actually is. Now, keep in mind that the screenshots that I'll be providing are insanely graphic to look at, and censored due to reasons. So, if you're one of those people who can't handle this kind of stuff, then please step away from this video now. Alright, here goes. New Year's Eve has begun on December 31st, 2022. I was at a party during that time, but that's beside the point. Who could have imagined that somebody like Jazmyne would throw their life away by getting caught in literal 16K by the end of 2022? I can't even make this shit up. It's been revealed that Jazmyne was ERPing with Jackie, who is 14 years old. Jazmyne was 23 at that time. As expected, more other victims were involved as well. 2 of them, who I wanted to remain anonymous, did the same thing as shown here. But 2 of these victims were adult during that time. However, that doesn't excuse that Jazmyne is off the hook for this one. Oh, but wait! There's more. Not only that he sent his to Jackie and forced her to send her to him, which is considered as CP, Jazmyne also says that he wanted to meet her in real life so they can just fool around, quote unquote. Now, I know some of you will be saying things like, oh, Jackie started all of this first, which I would highly disagree with. This right here is called grooming. When doing this type of behavior, it can manipulate a person, especially when they are a minor, to do favors that can satisfy their gratification and their own gain. It's kind of like this basically. You scratch my back, then I'll scratch yours. Probably one of the most insane cases that I have stumbled upon would have to be that Jazmyne made his 10-year-old cousin to give him a... Now, before we dive into this one, I should mention that just in case TCS watches this video, and if you are by the way, while I do appreciate that you've given this information out there for us, that doesn't mean that what you did to Skylar will not be buried. As I'm recording this, I think it's fair to say that I still don't trust you. Similar cases with predator poachers when they expose EDP. You did a good thing, but you're still a shit person. Anyways, back to this topic. I am just honestly flabbergasted that Jazmyne did something like this to his 10-year-old cousin. And what really bugs me about it is his reasoning behind it.
The thing that happened between me and my cousin, the way I told it to you is not the way it actually happened. I was only saying it that way to, I guess in a way, protect them. I'm trying to say that my cousin made me do things.
What kind of things?
Sexual things.
Is there a reason why he wanted you to do these things?
I don't really know what could have caused him to be the way he is, because I wasn't really a part of his life all that much.
Well, could it have probably be the fact about basically the problems that's going on around your family or something?
That's what I'm thinking, because it just so happens that that particular cousin has a brother, also a cousin of mine, but his brother, who's a little bit older than him, actually got in trouble for a very similar thing, only he did it to a girl in his school.
Is that it, or something?
That's pretty much it with the cousin stuff. The thing that I told TCS that he did screenshot was actually a little twisted. The truth of the matter is that that cousin was just the same as my sister, and that a lot of them were very inappropriate for their own age.
And then you just went on with this?
I didn't willingly. This particular cousin actually threatened to basically tell his father, which was my uncle, that I wasn't letting him do what he wanted.
What? Why
I had to submit.
Your cousin is young. No, hold on. Your cousin is younger than you. I find that hard to believe.
Well, so is my sister, and a lot of people didn't find that easy to believe either.
I expect this to be hard to believe as well. Plus, the entire audio of Jazmyne's life doesn't really add up to that story, which I couldn't even tell if this is all true or not. Regardless of what happened though, I'm really sorry, but you must have been weak-minded if you're held back a 10-year-old like this. You're an adult, and I had a feeling that you're pretty much taking advantage of the situation for your own gain. You even non-stop lying and manipulating this entire situation in order to spin in your favor and make your victims, including Jackie, the bad guys. When you did all of this to yourself, and you got blasted with backlashes because of this. And the fact that your parents are aware of what you did, and it's most likely that they are molesters themselves, getting help isn't going to do shit for you at all, man. If you really want to show us that you're actually sorry, the only thing that you can do, which I highly doubt you'll do, is turn yourself into the police. But it gets even worse, and oh boy, you might want to listen to this piece right here.
If you do feel remorse, why the fuck you keep doing this?
Because the way that I was seeing things, it looked consensual.
What?
What?
Jeremy, minors do not consent!
Are you am I hearing this right? Am I hearing this right?
Bro! Oh my god!
Yeah, no shot. When I first hear that, I completely lost my shit silently in that interrogation while I was muted. I couldn't fathom why Jared would think that what he was doing to these minors is consensual. Mate, you have absolutely zero remorse of your victims whatsoever. Decided you continue to play the victim card on multiple occasions, and even go as far as incriminate your victims the moment you got called out, let alone the witch hunt you did to those who rightfully called you out. So, I'm not entirely sure how everyone is going to forgive you for this. You're done, dude. Now, there's somebody else who I've been wanting to call out for quite some time now. Everyone, meet InktoAngie18, aka Starlight. For the sake of this video, I'll call her Angie. To summarize, Angie, aka Lakel Hansen, and yes, that's her actual real name, is a former boyfriend of Jeremy before she started dating AJ. Now, why am I talking about her all of a sudden? Well, let's just say that she's just like Jeremy in a way, which I'll discuss right now. So it all started when she defended Jeremy when he was caught, but not realizing the fact that she kept this to herself while she was fully aware of this. And I'll be completely honest, I kind of feel bad for Angie when she broke up with Jeremy, but man, the tables have turned against this bitch when she was harboring Jeremy, which is considered to be a crime, mind you not. Angie, I don't understand why you decided to go back to Jeremy after everything that he did, because associating with pedophiles like him can ruin your reputation as well. And look where this has gotten you. That's not all though. Once she was called out on it and interrogated her ass, the way she defended herself and her dick rider isn't doing them any favors. Take a look.
I fucking trusted you with my life. And you decided to pull this bullshit? Who the fuck hangs out with a person like him still? What the fuck were you and AJ thinking? Please, please, use your dumb brain. Let me think what the fuck you were thinking. No, we never did. No one, not us.
Generally wanted him to get better, but here's the thing. You have heart. You do have heart to try to get him better, but your mind is not good enough.
Question. Is this the first time you protected somebody like this, or this happened multiple times?
This happened twice.
Yeah. Listen.
Why do you keep dick riding him? Like, why?
Do you have even the speck of a clue as to how many times Inkto did something like this, and the fact that you and AJ actually sided with him on the matter after you told him that you were permanently done with him? That doesn't make any sense.
You did actually cut that from. Then why the fuck are you still in contact with him?
Exactly.
You should have kept him blocked in the first fucking place.
This is why I'm getting mad at this point, Angie. You're not giving us the very fucking honest answers. You're just giving us bullshit ass excuses.
Angie, you've made the whole situation way worse by adding more fuel to the fire and responding to the trolls non-stop. I mean, come on, let's be real here. If you don't care what people say about you and Jeremy, then why in the fuck are you still responding? Not to mention, you manipulate, lie, and even attack / victim blame those who are against Jeremy and who are victims of his pedophilic behavior, all because you couldn't handle straight facts that were given against him. And I also found it to be extremely hypocritical when you said, it's still pedophilia even if it's fictional, when you yourself are still siding on Jeremy, who, by the way, is one. This further proves that you really don't give a single fuck about victims and only doing this for your own gain, let alone clout. You know, I just find it funny that she claimed that my call to the police was complete bullshit, which I actually did go to the PA police department to deliver everything on what Jeremy was doing to these victims.
Even though that Angie say it's not. Even the Angie say it doesn't. Angie even doesn't say he's not you're not a child predator if you're convicted. It doesn't even matter, okay? Even though you're not convicted, you're still gonna be outed as one.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but that's kind of the
Yes.
harsh truth, Inkto.
Yes.
Like, can
I
I
know.
mention for a second? A good majority of people who got exposed as predators online, they were not convicted or punished by the law most of the time because they couldn't be, because either no one had enough personal information on them, or the victim and groomer lived in 2 separate countries, so it was damn near impossible to get anything done. And yet those people were still exiled from their communities and still given the boot, told to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Right.
somewhere to go, sadly.
And yeah, and by the way, Jeremy, you even though that we actually did, Matt actually did send all the evidence from New Year's to the authorities. He really did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know how police are. They don't do shit. So technically, you're pretty lucky.
You're pretty lucky that you thought that possibly you did actually get away with this.
Well,
But even
technically, no, hold on.
Yeah, let me finish.
Jackie, technically, he did not, because people still remember him as a predator. So,
well, no, not in that way, but just got away with getting into prison, is what I was saying.
okay, yeah.
He's pretty damn lucky. He's pretty goddamn lucky. But you want to know what didn't give him luck? The fact that what's happening to him online. Because even that, when we did try, what should have happened was that, yes, you should have gone into prison, like what we tried to do with actually, I'm actually gonna bring up Ellie. You know how Inkto, you know how her IRL friend tried to get her into prison?
Actually, I didn't know about this.
Short context, unrelated, I know, but short context, basically, situation happened between her and her IRL friend, then pretty much police and a lot of stuff, whatever. Her IRL friend tried to get her in prison, but because she didn't have enough evidence, Ellie literally got away with it. So,
but even if I did convince her, she wouldn't give a shit anyways. However, I don't think I need your hypocrisy or feeding the trolls and victim blaming to prove what kind of an awful person you are, Angie. Because the stuff that I'm about to pull out is all I need to prove you're guilty. Remember when I said that defending a pedophile, it's a possibility that the defenders may become one too? Well, this theory I've made proves my valid point. Back in 2020, Angie groomed underage Bridget. She's 19. Bridget was around 14 or 15 at the time. And of course, Angie tried to defend herself by saying the victims were horny around me. Now, even if that is the case, it doesn't justify the fact that you're an adult in the situation, and it's your responsibility as adults to make sure that none of these sexual activities occurred around with that said minor. But instead, you played along and took advantage of it. There's absolutely no excuse that you couldn't control yourself and threw Bridget under the bus all because you were caught grooming, and even went as far as mentioning a child. And to put the cherry on top of the shit sundae, you chickened out in our second interrogation we had on you, Jeremy, and AJ.
Invite her here, now, because we have to question. Because we have to question her.
Not coming.
She said she's not coming.
Even if we weren't to invite her to the server, she would not accept the invitation. So there's no point in that matter whatsoever. So,
she's been well, Jackie, you're fully well aware of the things she's been going through right now, so I don't think she's in the right state of mind to even do that.
And to be no offense, this is her fault for doing all this.
Yes.
And all this could have been avoided if you just kept your mouth shut and left Jazmyne behind when you had the chance. Because believe me, no one, and I mean no one, will ever going to be around with someone who still remain in contact with child predators like yourself. You had that opportunity and you blew it. And I'll be looking forward to what kind of a pathetic excuse you'll make in the comment section. It even goes as far as censoring this like you tried on my shitpost I made on you on TSS, the Splat Splitters. Because it'll only prove my point that you're a pathetic snowflake that will be forever trapped in your own little fantasy world as you would normalize any sexual activities that Jazmyne has caused to these victims. Last up we have AJ. While I don't have much info to say on this guy as I'm recording this, it's still relevant to talk about it since he paints a better picture of what kind of a person he is. While we talked to him in that interrogation about why he was siding with Inkto a few days after that first interrogation, the way he defended himself in that second interrogation isn't doing him any favors and even went as far as mocking suicide. I know because I was there when that happened. And I'm gonna predict that he'll end up in the same fate just like he did with those other pedos who were exposed. But all in all, I believe that AJ is a sociopath that, just like Angie, doesn't give a shit about no one but herself. To conclude about everything that I said, I think we could pretty much agree that InktoRosalina, aka Jazmyne, is by far the worst case I've ever witnessed, and I highly advise everyone who is watching this video to stay far away from him as much as possible, and be very careful, as he is still lurking around from a different alts in hopes of coming back and being relevant again. And I think this whole thing speaks for itself that defending pedophiles, possibly that the defenders of themselves might become one too. This happened to Ashiokto, who actually did the exact same thing to what Jazmyne did to Jackie, and I wouldn't have been so surprised if AJ would end up in the same fate as these scumbags. I'll be fully prepared when this prediction of mine does occur. What a way to end the year of 2022. We pray that justice will be served by these triple threats. I'm going to risk everything to make the Splat Source community a happier and safer environment for everyone.
Well then, good luck, brother. You're gonna need it.
What's this?